Welcome to At Your Library. I'm your host, Cathleen Clifford. Joining us today from the Groton Parks and Rec Department is Dami Rane and Eileen Chicchese. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
They're going to talk today about a really important program that's coming up here at the Groton Public Library on February 9th. We're going to have our Parks and Rec Summer Camp Showcase. Tell us about it. What is it?
Yeah, so the showcase again is here at the library. It's a day-long event that's geared towards anybody who's interested in looking for a summer job at one of our summer camps. We'll essentially kind of talk you through what a typical day of camp looks like. We'll go over camp scenarios. If you have any questions about the job, we'll answer them. So essentially it's just
practice interviewing.
Yep.
Helping them fill out their application.
So anything to kind of help you prepare for the process of being a camp counselor with us.
So who is the showcase geared to?
So last year was our first year, and then we had a great turnout, and mostly teenagers, college-age students, and we had adults who were looking for part-time summer employment. So it's really geared to anyone, but more of the assistance goes to the younger, worker that might need a little help with the process.
Oh, okay. How old do you have to be to work as a leader?
So 16 is the age to work as one of our camp counselors. However, we do have a leader in training program that's geared towards 14 and 15-year-olds. So it kind of prepares them if they would like to be one of our employees when they're 16 to kind of work through the process of becoming a counselor, teaching them those skills, and yeah.
So they don't get paid for that.
They don't get
paid. It's a volunteer position,
Yes.
but they've already outgrown being a camper,
Right.
but they're not old enough yet.
Right.
So this is a really good segue for them to learn a lot about
Absolutely.
it and get to know the other counselors and the kids.
Right, and in
Nice.
a lot of cases, they were campers,
Okay.
and then they become leaders in training, and then they work for us.
That's
And
wonderful.
it makes the transition very easy for everybody because they've already been trained a lot, and we know
Right.
they're good and they're enthusiastic, and
Nice.
so that you could show all of their attributes as a leader in training.
So if they're interested and they're only 14, they should still come down to the showcase?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yep.
They get to talk to us counselors that have been doing the
Okay.
job for a really long time, so it really helps them with the experience. Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. What should you expect? How can you prepare? What do you need to bring to the showcase?
Well, first of all, they should come dressed like,
To impress.
to impress, and that they're going to have some mock interviews. Their enthusiasm is key, being really excited about wanting the job and asking questions. They may want to prepare questions ahead of time to ask the
Okay.
counselors. A lot of the young people ask, like, well, what's, how many hours a day? How many weeks?
Right.
Prepare some questions. But generally, really just be
Yeah, just be enthusiastic. A big thing is, you're with kids all day and they're enthusiastic themselves. So if you want to feed off of that energy. So we're looking for people who are going to be equally as enthusiastic with the kids and enjoy the activities, because camp is, obviously it's fun. So
Yeah.
we want them to have fun during the job.
Absolutely. Can you tell us about a day in the life of a leader at Camp Discovery?
Yes, so we have 4 different age groups that the counselors will be put into,
Okay.
and each of the groups will be doing 4 to 5 activities. Usually it's like a gym activity, it's a passive activity, indoors or outdoors. There is arts and crafts, and then there's always an outdoor game. So the counselors try to be super creative with the games and provide a lot of variety and diversity with the games. A lot of them are connected and aligned to our camp theme of the week.
Oh, okay.
And that's really cool. We have
Yeah.
a theme for the whole week, and then each day
My
has...
favorite is Disney. Oh, and Color Wars. Color Wars gets super competitive with the campers. And then we always have 2 to 3 field trips every single week.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so I know we go to Ocean Beach, we go to the Connecticut Science Center, we go to a lot of
Yeah, we have
Really
many programs.
bowling and laser tag with the kids. So honestly, a day in camp is super fun, really chaotic sometimes, but again, super fun. You're basically hanging out with kids all day, so I don't see anything
Now,
more exciting than that.
for your campers, what age do you start at, and what are the hours it runs each day?
So the youngest group is 5 to 6, and then the oldest group is 11 and 12s. So we go from 5 years old to 12 years, so quite a big range. hours. They're only 35 hours.
Yeah, 8 to 4.
8 to 4, okay.
Yeah, and our program runs 7 weeks during the summer, and a week of training, so all of which is paid.
Yes.
Okay. So it's a perfect job for high school kids or kids home from college.
Right.
It seems to work really well with their schedules. What if an applicant doesn't have much work experience?
Truly, that's honestly okay. We'll be, again, as Eileen said, we do train our staff a week before, like for a week, honestly, like a week
30
before.
hours of
Yeah, a week
training.
before camp starts, and they get to know all this. Really, we teach them all the skills that they need to know in that time. But obviously, if they have any experience with kids, that's a plus.
Babysitting. A lot of young people don't have any paid experience, and so sometimes they leave everything off their application, and it's all blank because they didn't have it. But we really encourage, and that's one of the things Jess does with them is, okay, she kind of goes into, okay, so have you ever babysat? Were you a Boy Scout? Were you a Girl Scout? Did you participate in clubs in the high school, in the middle school? And all those things are really good experiences, but a lot of times they don't think that that's an experience that you write down.
Right,
so we help them with that.
Which is why we encourage people to come to the showcase, because then we can help them figure it out.
And Jessa Franco, who is our teen librarian here at the Groton Library, she is also involved helping out with this day?
Yes. Last year she helped with the applications. Actually, we have paper copies of the application. They actually do them the day of the event.
And we'll deliver them to
town hall. And we deliver them to town hall.
Oh, that's great.
And then with their application, we do, some mock interviewing, some leadership activities, fun kind of activities where the directors who work at camp kind of watch them in motion, like, in real life, how they respond to different things. And so then, it's like half the work is already done. They don't have to go home and fill out an application and go, oh dear,
if they have any questions, they can ask them
You're right
there.
here to do it on hand.
Right.
So kids and young adults should not be nervous about coming.
No.
If you're excited about this and this is something you really want to do, you should come no matter what.
Absolutely.
And even if they come with their nerves too, I think we're very friendly faces, and we're more than welcome to answer any questions and any fears that they have.
The fun part was last year we had so many people come, and then when we actually did interviews at the town hall, I'm in it, and they've already seen me, and they've already talked to me, and they're like, oh, it's not the same as going blind,
Right, because
not knowing.
interviewing can be a very overwhelming
extremely,
experience.
I wish we had it when I was applying when I was 16. I wish I had this. We had something similar to this, but nothing like this. I think this is a lot more engaging.
And this is the second year.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're learning. Now I know people are wondering, how much does this pay? How much do you get paid for doing this?
Well, luckily, minimum wage has gone up. So it is a starting pay for a leader at the minimum wage, which is $11.
Okay.
But like Dami said, that it's somewhere between 32 and 35 hours a week.
Right.
So you do the math there. It's not a bad amount of money, and there are no weekends. They're done by 4. So it's
definitely the perfect job for summer because you work, you make a little money, and you still have time for that R&R, so you're not overwhelmed.
And the things that we do in camp are really fun, and our counselors have just as much fun as the kids do. So I think and
they really make lifelong friends with the other leaders.
Oh, that's
one
wonderful.
thing that we do.
My brother works, and my friend works, so I get to spend summer with the best people. So yeah.
Well, I was going to ask you reasons why you should apply, but I think you answered that one really well. Let's see. Dami, you've been a camp leader for 4 years. So tell us what a new leader would benefit by as working. What have you learned? What have you experienced?
Yeah, so I'm going to school to become a teacher, elementary school teacher, and I think a lot of the skills that I learned through camp definitely helps with my job, and I think truly any job that you are seeking for the future can really be benefited from being a camp counselor. You learn problem-solving skills, team working skills, communication, collaboration, and all those job skills are really important for any future career that you have. So I definitely recommend anybody just, trying it out, want a summer job, to definitely apply for this job.
And what's really cool is a lot of our previous staff over, the last 10, 15 years, we have
Pediatrician.
We have a pediatrician who worked at a camp. She worked 6 or 7 years at summer camp. We have speech pathologists. We have teachers, special ed teachers, and they all say that camp was the basis of their skill development.
And realizing that, they really love working with children.
Right, knowing that, not everybody's going to love working with kids, but
it's a good chance to find out more about yourself and grow. When you're a young teenager, 16 years old, you don't know.
Yeah, well, one of my best friends is going into nursing, and she didn't know what direction of nursing. She actually decided to go pediatric after working at camp because she knew that she loved working with children and she wanted to continue doing that for her career. So yeah.
So one of the questions I have on here is, why is working as a leader the hardest job you'll ever love?
Well, obviously the kids are the big component. They can be sometimes frustrating and they always keep you on your toes. However, it's always when you, at the end of camp and all the kids are hugging you goodbye, it's a rush of emotion, and you have such a love and connection with these kids, and I go back every single year just to see these kids. So yes, in the moment.
And they see you in the grocery store, and you're a rock star.
Yeah,
that's
you're such
really nice.
You get to be a role model for these kids, and while it is frustrating planning
and tiring,
tiring,
it's a tiring job.
It is, because you always have to be active and on your toes and energy up. Exactly, but I still remain really close to all the campers that I've known. Some of my first campers, they still come up to me and be like, oh my gosh, you remember this, you remember that? And so they are fantastic. So yes, it's fairly hardworking, but at the end it pays off because you get to be role models for a bunch of amazing kids, so yeah.
That's great. Now, we want everybody to come to the showcase, but what happens if you cannot make that date? You're sick, you're out of town. Is there another opportunity to apply to work for the summer?
Oh yes, actually, we will be posting the position in probably by mid-January.
Okay.
And it'll be on the town's website.
Okay, town website.
Yeah, the Town of Groton's website, and you go to jobs at the top, and it'll be posted. So you can do it online.
Okay.
You can also download a copy and write it out. We like that approach because it's the online one is sometimes people forget to put certain things, and it's click, and then it's sent into So and I work at Groton Parks and Rec, and they could call over there if they really wanted to help. We've got Jessa at the library and myself. We could certainly help them, through the process. We did have a couple people who couldn't make it and called and
emailed and reached out because they were really interested. So there's always a way.
So that's really important that we let everybody know.
Yeah.
If you cannot make the showcase, still contact Parks and Rec, come see Jessa here at the library, or go straight to the Town of Groton website and look for the job openings. Thank you both so much for being here. Let's remind everybody one more time, what are the details of the showcase?
So February 9th.
It's a Saturday.
10 to 2 on February 9th.
And it's going to be in the room to the left as soon as you walk in. There'll be a sign
large
there,
meeting room.
The large meeting room. And we'll have greeters.
Yeah, you see a lot of friendly faces.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you again for being on our show. And we'll be here for you on February to help you out with all you need.
Great.
Thank you.
Great.
Thank you, Catherine.
We'll be right back to talk more about teens job searching with Jessa Franco. Stay tuned.
$736 million people struggle to meet their basic needs. An estimated 40 million people have fallen victim to human trafficking. 51 million kids go hungry every day. And every day, United Way and our partners, including Kellogg, Wells Fargo, and UPS, fight for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community.
Each year, there are more than a dozen significant tropical and winter storms that threaten the East Coast. So chances are there will be more hurricanes and blizzards near here again. And between school, sports, and social lives, chances are you won't be with your kids when it happens. Will they know what to do? Ready.gov/kids has all the educational tools and information to make the conversation easy. When the time comes, chances are they'll feel prepared, not scared. So talk with your family today.
We believe that when the community comes together, we can do great things.
We're working to make Groton the healthiest and safest place for everyone.
Hey kids, listen to your parents.
We want you to have the facts and the best tools to keep you safe.
We know there is a lot of confusing talk about drugs in the media.
Parents, we know you have a tough job to do, teaching your kids about alcohol and drug abuse. We're here to help you.
Let's work together to change community norms about drugs and alcohol.
Help us out. Volunteer. Donate.
Find us at Groton Prevents and join us.
Welcome back to At Your Library. In the first half of our show, we talked about the Parks and Rec Summer Showcase, where you can come and apply for a job in February. But what if you don't want to apply for a job in February, or you're looking for work all the time? Well, good for us. At our library, we have Jessa Franco, who is our Teen and Workforce Development Librarian. Jessa is always here to help the teens and other people seek out employment. Welcome back.
Thank you.
I always love to have you on. So we're talking strictly about the teens today, and you're going to be at the showcase in February. But in addition to that, where can you get your first job if you're a teenager?
So teenagers have a lot of opportunities available to them, but unfortunately, they kind of struggle to find that first job because a lot of companies are looking for people with previous experience. So first employment tends to be with a lot of small, more local businesses. Okay. You know, your town governments with the Parks and Recreation program is a great opportunity, which we've already talked about today. But you can also look into other summer camps in the area, local restaurants, local retail shops. There's a lot of opportunity out there. It's just knowing how to search for it.
Okay. Are there different laws for teens looking for employment?
There are. So legally, a teenager can start working at 16. Technically, they can work at 15 if they get working papers from their high school's guidance office. However, there are very, very strict requirements for a 15-year-old worker, and a lot of places aren't typically willing to work with that. So 16 is really when you should start looking for employment if you want a teen first job. And at 16, there are different requirements based on where you're working and what you're doing. Okay. And so those hours will impact what hours you can work on school days as opposed to weekends, where within the business you can be working, what types of machinery. It's going to be different for each industry, and the Connecticut State Department's website actually spells it out very clearly and plainly for each one. So if you have questions, you can always go online, look and see what the laws are, and make sure that you as a teen employee are being treated properly, but also that you're looking at the right industries of what you're even qualified to work for at this age.
Okay. Now, if you're a teen and you're thinking about getting a summer job, when should you start thinking about that?
You know, the snow's still on the ground and you're probably thinking like, oh, I don't need to worry about summer yet, and that's completely wrong. So a lot of places that are looking for strictly summer employment start evaluating their employee needs now.
Now, wow.
Yeah, January, February, they look at who from last year might be coming back, that they're going to rehire, what openings they have, what gaps, what their predictions are for enrollment if it is a summer camp. So they're going to start evaluating what their hiring needs are now, and they're going to start putting those postings out there. And so if you wait until May or June to start looking at those jobs, they're already going to be full, and you're going to struggle a lot longer to find work, and probably not, to be completely honest. If you think about how long it takes to take someone from the job posting to the application to the interview to the paperwork to get hired to the training, it's a couple months before you even start your first day. If you look in May, you were not starting until July, and then school starts.
And school starts again.
So,
do you think it's wise for a teen to prepare a resume?
Yes. So taking the time to put together a resume shows that you're committed to wanting to work, that this isn't just some fly-by-night, you know, you're thinking about it and you might not show up the next day. Thinking about the transferable skills that you have from your own experiences, taking the time to put together a presentable resume will really make you stand out compared to other teen applicants.
Can you make, say, a blanket resume, or should you tweak it to go with the job you're trying for?
So with your resume, especially as a teen applicant, you're not going to have a lot to put on there. So a blanket resume would be fine. You might tweak it if you're looking at something that you have a lot of experience in and you want to put in more specific details that field would understand. So say you're looking at childcare and you've done a lot of babysitting. you might put in a lot more detail about your babysitting experience while applying to a summer camp than you would to a restaurant.
Okay.
But the thing that really should, in any type of employment, be customized for every job is the cover letter. So while teen applicants don't typically need a cover letter, anybody who's applying for something that is going to write one, that needs to be customized for each job. Your resume can be a little bit more standard.
Excellent. Now, what about preparing for an interview? I mean, that's probably one of the scariest things teens will go through.
Oh, absolutely. It's that public speaking fear that kicks in there. Preparing for an interview, you want to go online and see what questions are already out there to prepare yourself. So a lot of places, especially the larger companies as opposed to small town things, you can go on websites like Glassdoor, and previous applicants and employees will post questions that they were asked in their interviews.
Nice.
So even if you don't get asked that specific question, you can practice answering them ahead of time and getting that skill of answering on demand and putting together a professional answer. And we'll give you an idea to start thinking on your feet a little bit better. There's also an opportunity to come into the library and talk to us about interviewing skills. And then the one thing that I feel like a lot of people don't think about in detail is how you should dress for an interview.
Right.
It's a really big one. And they tell you dress for the boss's job. So if you're coming in for an interview and you're applying for entry-level work, you're going to want to dress as the manager that you're applying for would dress for the interview. So that doesn't mean, if you're applying to work at Dunkin' Donuts, don't come in a three-piece suit, because the manager at Dunkin' Donuts is not giving you a three-piece suit. But a nice dress shirt, slacks, if you like dresses, that's always an option as well. There's also one thing I heard when I was teaching, and I've always kind of gone by this myself, is there's actually a mathematical formula for how you dress, and so they don't want you to go over a score of 11. And so you count each article of clothing, including glasses and jewelry, and you count each color that you're wearing. And so if your number goes over 11, you're probably too busy for how you're presenting yourself.
That's awesome.
So that's one way if you're a little bit more inclined to have a very strict yes or no. Don't go over 11. Count what you're wearing and see if it qualifies. Now, I'm probably over 11 if you count each ring. There's a hair tie, a wrist, has multiple colors. I've got at least 4 colors here. I'd probably be over and want to minimize some of what I'm doing. But it's on a case-by-case basis,
right?
What you want to wear and what you're comfortable with. But that's a pretty good, safe way to evaluate it.
That is really important. So teens need more help. Can they come to you?
Absolutely. So as a teen and workforce development librarian, I have 2 hats that I wear at the library. I work with teenagers, and then I help people find jobs. And so kind of blending the 2 together with teens applying for work is ideal. So I work with people on a one-to-one basis. You can make an appointment with me. We'll do job searching together. We can do mock interviews, help with resumes, cover letters, all of the above. Another fantastic resource is the guidance office at the high school.
Okay.
So they would have resources for if you need working papers at 15, if you are looking for a first-time job and you need support, they also have a network that they can pull on.
Okay.
And then, of course, Parks and Rec's Showcase is later in February.
Right.
We are also offering here at the library a job searching for teenagers on February 29th. So you can start getting a head start on those job searching for the summer. So there's a lot of resources out there. You just need to know what to pull on.
Excellent. So if anybody has any further questions on today, they can go to our website. They can come in and talk to Jessa, and send her an email or give us a call. Thank you so much for being with us today.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you always for supporting our teenagers. We appreciate it. This has been At Your Library. Thanks for checking in.